Welcome back, legends, to another Bud Fellas educational deep dive. Today, we're unpacking a topic that frustrates a lot of people and creates a false sense of failure. Why people fail with autoflowers. Autoflowering cannabis plants are often marketed as easy, beginner-friendly, and foolproof. When things go wrong, growers blame themselves. But the reality is more nuanced. This episode is purely educational and focuses on plant biology, genetics, and timing, not instructions or cultivation techniques. As always, this content follows UK law and YouTube guidelines. We're explaining why autoflowers behave the way they do, not how to grow them. To understand why people struggle with autoflowers, we first need to understand what makes them different. Before we jump in, remember, this channel is for viewers over 18 and our content is purely educational. We're not here to promote or encourage illegal activity. In the UK, cannabis cultivation remains illegal without a license. What we are doing is learning plant science and helping beginners avoid common mistakes. Quick update. We've just launched the Bud Fellas Telegram community, connecting growers and enthusiasts from around the world. It's legal-focused, all about networking, plant science, and shared experience. Links in the description. Autoflowers contain cannabis ruderalis genetics. Ruderalis evolved in northern regions with short, unpredictable summers. Instead of relying on day length to flower, these plants evolved to flower based on age. This genetic trait allows them to complete their life cycle quickly, but it also creates limitations. The most important difference is time. Autoflowers operate on a fixed internal clock. Once that clock starts, it cannot be paused or reset. This means the plant does not wait for ideal conditions. It transitions through stages whether it is thriving or stressed. Photoperiod plants can delay development when stressed. Autoflowers cannot. This leads to the first major reason people fail with autos. Early stress has permanent consequences. Any stress experienced during early development reduces the plant's final potential. Because the plant cannot extend its vegetative phase, lost time cannot be recovered. This is not a mistake, it is how the genetics work. Another issue is expectation mismatch. Many people approach autoflowers using the same mindset as photoperiod plants. They expect time to fix problems later. With autos, there is no later. The plant keeps moving forward regardless of setbacks. This creates frustration when people realise the window for recovery is extremely small. Root sensitivity is another major factor. Autoflowers often develop rapidly but have limited tolerance for root disturbance. Any interruption to root development early on can slow the entire plant permanently. Because roots drive nutrient and water uptake, early root stress reduces everything that follows. Autoflowers also respond differently to environmental fluctuations. Because they move quickly through stages, sudden changes have a larger impact. A brief imbalance that a photoperiod plant might shrug off can permanently affect an auto. This is not because autos are weaker, it's because they are faster. Genetic variability also plays a role. Autoflowers are hybrids by nature. While many modern autos are stable, variability still exists. Two plants from the same pack can behave differently. One may thrive while another struggles under identical conditions. This unpredictability leads people to assume they did something wrong when genetics are often the cause. Another common reason for failure is misinformation. Autoflowers are frequently marketed as set and forget. This creates unrealistic expectations. While autos simplify light scheduling, they do not remove the need for balance. The myth of simplicity causes people to underestimate the importance of consistency. Overcorrection is another problem. Because autos move quickly, people panic when something looks off. They respond with multiple changes at once. This compounds stress rather than resolving it. Autos don't respond well to constant adjustment because they lack time to stabilize. Light misunderstanding also contributes to failure. Autoflowers can tolerate a wide range of light schedules, but that flexibility often leads to confusion. Without understanding plant energy limits, people assume more light always equals better results. Biology still has limits, regardless of genetics. Nutrient sensitivity is often misunderstood as well. Autoflowers typically require less overall input due to their size and lifespan. When treated like larger plants, they can experience internal imbalance. This imbalance may not show immediately, but reduces efficiency throughout the cycle. Another overlooked factor is plant size expectation. Many people judge autoflower success using photoperiod standards. Autos are generally smaller because of their shortened vegetative period. Smaller size does not mean failure. Expecting photoperiod scale results sets people up for disappointment. Environmental stability is especially important for autos because they cannot pause development. Repeated fluctuations stack stress quickly. Consistency matters more than perfection. This nuance is often lost in beginner discussions. Autoflowers also magnify mistakes. Small errors that might be forgiven in slower plants become visible outcomes in autos. This creates the illusion that autos are harder when, in reality, they are simply less forgiving. Another reason people fail is timing-related learning. Beginners often learn through trial and error. Autos leave little room for learning mid-cycle. By the time someone understands what went wrong, the plant has already moved on. From a biological perspective, autoflowers are not designed for flexibility. They are designed for speed and survival. When placed in artificial environments with high expectations, that design can clash with human assumptions. In summary, people fail with autoflowers because of fixed genetic timelines, sensitivity to early stress, unrealistic expectations, misinformation, overcorrection, and comparisons to photoperiod plants. Autoflowers are not bad plants. They are specialized plants. Understanding autos means understanding time. When time cannot be extended, every early signal matters. Failure with autoflowers is not incompetence. It is often a mismatch between biology and expectation. Thanks for tuning in, legends. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more myth-free cannabis education, stay locked in. This is Bud Fellas, calm, educational, and always within the guidelines, signing out.